Welcome back to Forest Glen Park, home of the Huntington Foresters in this Game 2 matchup of today between the Foresters and the Maple Leafs. Foresters up 3-0 in the 4-game set. This Crossroads Lake matchup. Getting his first start of the season is Brent Turner, a relief pitcher out of the pen for the Foresters. The number 1 guy getting the start today as Mason Shinneberry has some back tightness. He is available, as I've heard from a couple players today. Turner on the season. Here's more from Jordan Herring.
Yeah, Ryan, Brent Turner has been absolutely fantastic for the Foresters coming out of the bullpen. He actually hasn't been in a starting position since his freshman year. And so looking at his stats for the season, he's currently sitting at a 3.86 ERA with a 3-2 win and loss and 30 innings pitched. May I remind you, mostly a relief pitcher, but 30 innings pitched. And overall, he's been very good for the Foresters here.
Has a lot of innings, as you said. Number 1 guy out of the pen. His first pitch is in there for strike 1. Turner usually pitches at least 2 out of the 4 games in conference play. One of the most trusted players on this team, especially on pitching side of things. Turner from Rising Sun, Indiana, was on my podcast earlier this week talking about a couple different things. Student teacher in the first semester, teaching history. Man that does it all. We'll have more on that in the second inning. Three and 1 the count. First batter will be a walk for Turner. That was Reese Willis, the catcher.
Not necessarily off to the best start so far, but what makes Turner really efficient is that he's got that really nice fastball thrown around the 80-mile-an-hour range, and also he's got a really good curveball to follow that up, making it very difficult for pitchers to try to keep track on anything he's throwing at him.
Talked to Turner earlier today how he feels about his first start of the year, and he said, I'm calm, I'm cool, just ready to go, ready to help my team win. Again, his first start of the year. There's this one outside for a ball. The 1-0 inside. Freshman Callan Kelsheimer do the catching duties behind the plate today for Turner. As Turner faces Evan Krieger. This one called a strike. Moves the count to 2-1. Runner going. And just will not bounce into the glove for Ginder. So now Willis will head over to third. Throw not in time. The Leafs now with nobody out has a runner at third. Not the start Turner wanted necessarily, but he's in this position a couple different times coming into relief with a new inning or people on base. Nothing new for Turner here. Count full now at 3-2. This one going to be called strike 3. Krieger thought it was ball 4. Picks up the strikeout instead, and you'll have to go back to the dugout. I'll bring up the 3-hitter Nate Lange. 4 for 12 in the series thus far for the Maple Leafs. Takes his first pitch outside. Is skied in the air in the infield. Playable. And caught by Satchel Wilson, who called off Daniel Lichty over at third.
And Ryan, I've kind of talked about how what makes Turner really good is his pitch repertoire, but what's also really special about him is that three-quarter arm slot form on his pitches, making it very difficult for hitters to get a good read on the spin of the ball right out of his hand.
Makes it really tough to see, as you were saying. Now Turner tries to get out of this jam here that had a runner at third with nobody out. Now with 2 outs, Cam Nickel at the plate, also the starting pitcher for the Maple Leafs. One and one the count. Turner fires, swing and a miss. One called, strike 3 again. Turner gets 2 backwards Ks, strands the runner on third. So now we head to the bottom of the first, 0-0 in this early one. Heading to the bottom of the first. In this one, Brett Turner was the starter for Huntington, a relief pitcher, and now starting for the Maple Leafs is starting pitcher / relief pitcher Cam Nickel. Jordan Herring has more on him.
And yeah, Ryan, like you said, he's mostly a relief pitcher for Goshen this year, a lot like Brent Turner, so we do have a lot of that relief pitcher matchup going on. However, Cam Nickel has gotten 2 starts on the year. His most previous starting gig was against Indiana Wesleyan nearly 3 weeks ago. And currently looking at his stats for the year, he's sitting at a 5.23 ERA and about 20 2/3 inning of work. So overall, good relief pitcher, not necessarily the best starting pitcher. But we'll see what he gets done against the Foresters today.
He'll have to face Langston Ginder, Ian McCutcheon, and Daniel Lichty. Foresters going with their same lineup as they did last game here, except Eli Knust will take a break from his 3 games already started behind the plate. Callan Kelsheimer, the freshman, behind the dish, batting 9th in for Knust. And this is a reminder, a 7-inning game. Foresters looking for the 4-game sweep in the Crossroads League, sitting currently at tied for 3rd. Sitting behind Taylor and Indiana Wesleyan, who are playing right now. Ginder will take the first pitch outside for ball 1 on Nickel. This one in there for strike 1. Nickel, a senior, right-handed pitcher, 6 foot, from Middlebury, Indiana, went to Northridge High School. The 2-1. Swung on, fouled out of play. Moves it to 2-2 on Ginder. Ginder went 2 for 3 in the first game. Reached base a couple more times on a couple errors. Very productive at the plate. This one will be scorched up to center field. Fielded by Char Reeves. Ginder rounding first and heading for second. The throw will be over second baseman's head and for a double for the Foresters.
Now batting center fielder, Ian McCutcheon.
I'll bring up Ian McCutcheon. 2 for 4 in the last game as we take a look at this one from Ginder. Leadoff double. McCutcheon 2 for 4 with a triple, 3 RBIs. So he squares this one down towards third. That'll be a sac bunt for McCutcheon, getting Ginder over to third.
And Ryan, as you know, the Foresters really do like playing their small ball, and honestly not surprised to see it here in the first inning with a runner on second, being able to move him over to third with 1 out to try to drive in the early run.
Some people might question that. Why, with your 2-hitter who just roped a triple in his last at-bat in the first game, why would you bunt? And I'll tell you what, this program doesn't really care. They'll bunt with Daniel Lichty at 3. They'll bunt with Satchel Wilson at 4, Ian at 2. Doesn't matter. They're going to do everything they can to scratch a run across, especially in a shorter 7-inning game. This one will be high. Ginder will come in and score. No throw. 1-0 Foresters here early.
And looking back on it, Ryan, I think we can both say that that bunt panned out really well for the Foresters.
Sure did.
So absolutely no question there is why they might bunt there in that situation now.
(2-0). Lichty tried to bunt that one, but pulled his bat back. Now is a 3-0 count. Foresters are never afraid to bunt in any situation, in any part of the order. Lichty will take the first strike inside. Lichty 2 for 3 last game with a double. Had an RBI. 3-1 in there for strike 2. In comparison to the last game, looks like the umpire is going to have a little bit more of a bigger zone. Pitcher's umpire, as they would say. This one's grounded over the first baseman, Baker. He'll make the play.
Now batting the shortstop, number 12, Satchel Wilson.
I'll bring up Satchel Wilson, cleanup hitter. Nobody to clean up on base. So he steps in with 2 outs. Faces Cam Nickel for the first time. Be a ball. Goes to the backstop.
See, it's perfectly fine when you're not actually telling us.
Here's the 1-0. Big swing and a miss from Wilson. Here's the 1-1 from Nickel. Outside. That one in there for strike 2 and moves it to 2-2 with 2 outs. From the windup, Nickel deals. Pitch, the auto was strike 3, but instead fills the count at 3-2.
And I think the Foresters are doing a very good job here early, both raising full counts this at-bat and the last one.
This one will be in the air towards center field and will land in front of Reeves. It's a base hit for Satchel Wilson. Keeping the inning alive. And a very good at bat.
Number 11, Jarrett Gray.
So bring up Jarrett Gray. The season hitting .291 for the Foresters. This one is in the air. Deep into right field. And making the catch is Char Reeves, showing off his speed and ending the inning, limiting the damage to just 1 run. We'll head to the top of the second. We'll have a special note on Brent Turner coming right up after this replay. So you see Reeves goes over with that speed.
This is how we like to do it.
Welcome back to Forest Glen Park. I'm Ryan Walker alongside Jordan Herring, and Brent Turner will come out to the mound in the second inning. And now there's a couple two-way players on this team, you know, pitchers and hitters, and then there's Camden Dice, who's a two-way athlete. But then there's Brent Turner, who does a great job on the mound, but even better job with the mop. And congratulations to Brent Turner, who wins mop 2021 Crossroads League Mopper of the Year. During basketball season, uses the mop to wipe the floor and has done a great job throughout the entire season. So congratulations to Brent. I know he's a spectacular pitcher on the mound for the Foresters, but getting it done with the mop as well, keeping people safe. And we're looking forward to him trying to defend his title next season.
Yeah, Ryan, he's just done an absolute fantastic job here being the Mopper of the Year. And now he can proudly add that accolade to his shelf.
his big trophy case.
Yeah, man, we'll see if he'll be able to add any more baseball awards along with that. Because you can't just have one award all by itself.
Of course. And Turner, of course, is my roommate, making this 10,000 times more special. I'm just so proud of him. All right, let's get serious. 2-2 is the count to Austin Bontrager as he strikes him out, swinging. Two-way athlete Brent Turner gets him on strikes.
Baseman number 23, Austin Bontrager.
Excuse me, that was Morgan Baker who struck out. He's a little distracted. Now brings up Austin Bontrager. This one called the ball high. One-oh pitch is outside for a ball.
And Ryan, something that I've noticed here with Brand is he's just struggling a little bit on getting those first pitch strikes and second pitch strikes. So now he's got to try to rally back from these 1- and 2-0 counts.
2-0 is outside again. Moves the count to 3-0. In there. Called a strike. Turner tries to battle back from 3-0. It's pitched too high for ball 4.
Now batting number 6, the Goshen second baseman, Bobby Garcia.
Bobby Garcia will step in. Went 3 for 4 last game with a double at 2 RBIs. Did not play in the first game, but definitely earned his spot here in game 4 and probably beyond. 2-0 now to Garcia. In there for strike 1. Turner trying to get a ground ball here. Try to fix up a double play. Garcia trying to stay hot. 2-1 is fouled into the glove. Moves it to 2-2 now. The 2-2. Slap fouled.
And Turner's done a great job of trying to battle back in this at-bat after starting at 2-0. But now with the 2-2 count, he's got to either try to find the strikeout pitch or try to find the double play ball.
Here's the 2-2 from Turner. This one roped into left field. Going back is Camden Dice to the track, to the wall, and that one's going to be gone. Bobby Garcia with a 2-run home run here in the second will put the Maple Leafs in the lead 2-1. Just the third home run for the Maple Leafs this season.
Now batting number 31, the center fielder, Char Reeves.
Let's take a look at this one. This one just roped. Way out of reach from Dice. The Forsters now trail 2-1. Char Reeves at the plate. Pitch in there for strike one. 1-1 the count. This one swung on and fouled. Out of play. Reeves made that speedy catch out in center field, showcasing that speed a couple times this series. He swings this one on to left field, and right there is Camden Dice for out number 2.
Now batting the left fielder, number 13, Gabe Kermode.
Gabe Kermode will step in now, the left fielder. Takes first pitch outside for a ball. (1-0) in there. Call for strike one, moving it to 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and missed.
And Turner's not necessarily looking all that phased after giving up a home run, which is a very good sign if you're the Foresters. Climbing back here, getting the second out, and now trying to drag out the third.
1-2 pitch is outside for a ball. Now 2-2 with 2 outs. (2-2) in there. Call for strike 3. Brent gets out of it, but not before escaping a Bobby Garcia 2-run shot. 2-1 is our score. Maple Leafs up over the Foresters on FDN Sports. Nickel back out there for the Maple Leafs. Trying to hold that 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the second. He'll have to go through Owen Young, Alex McCutcheon, and Camden Dice. Nichols' first pitch is swung on and missed by Owen Young. Healthy rip there from Forster's first baseman / DH. Another big swing and a miss from Young will quickly put him to 0-2. The 0-2. Swung on, fouled back. We'll try 0-2 again. Swung on and missed from Owen Young.
And Ryan, that breaking ball from Cam Nickel here is looking really good right now against this Forester lineup. I would expect him to kind of lean against that if he's trying to go for these Ks or easy ground balls.
He'll bring up Alex McCutcheon. Got hit in the back of the heel in the last game. Said he was good to go, though. Pitch called a ball on the outside part of the plate. The 1-0. Called a strike. The 1-1. Curveball almost called a strike. Umpire thought about it. McCutcheon 1 for 3 last game. Two and two the count. From the windup, Nickel deals. Too high, fills up the count now. It's completely full at 3-2. The 3-2. Swung on to right field. And it'll drop in for a base hit. Perfectly played.
Now batting the left fielder, number 31, Cam Dice.
1 for 4 in the first game for Camden Dice as he steps in for the first time facing Cam Nickel. An opposite field home run to right field. His third of the year, all to opposite field. Got a lot of power in that bat and his leg as he plays soccer in the fall. First pitch is fouled off of that foot. Dice checking out his sign card. Coach Thad Frame will yell out signs from the dugout, a number, and players will check it rather than getting signs so the other team won't steal signs. 0-1 pitch is in there for strike 2. New technology in baseball, Jordan. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's almost like we're backtracking a little bit. However, it is still the most efficient way of getting signs out.
The 0-2. Swung on and missed from Dice. Cam Nickel collects another strikeout, second this inning.
And that breaking ball is just looking really good for him right now, especially on those right-handed hitters. So I want to see, especially when the Huntington Foresters flip around their lineup the second time around, how they change their approach for that curveball.
This will bring up Callan Kilsheimer, the catcher. Nickel will check over at first with no tag. Runners going. Pitch was outside and no throw. McCutcheon will get in there with a stolen base. Now with 2 outs here, a runner in scoring position for Kelsheimer. This one's going to hit Kelsheimer. Kelsheimer will head over to first. Now the Foresters have a couple ducks in the pond, bringing up Langston Ginder, the leadoff man.
And Langston Ginder has been really hot during this series against the Maple Leafs. So if there is any good time to get some runs here to tie up the game with 2 outs, Langston Ginder might be the go-to man.
Ryan Hale will courtesy run, as you saw on your screen, for Kelsheimer. Hale, the speedy junior from Daleville, Indiana. Has 7 stolen bases on the year in 10 attempts. Mostly courtesy running. First pitch to Ginder, called a strike.
And don't forget, Ryan, this is also only a 7-inning game, so these early runs might be crucial here as we go down the backstretch of this game.
The 0-1 to Ginder. This one in the air towards left field. Going over and making the grab. Gabe Kermode over there in left field ends the inning and ends the threat, and it's runners in scoring position. We'll head to the top of the third in a 2-1 game in favor of Goshen over Huntington on FDN Sports. Turner back on the mound in the third inning, and he's not much of a strikeout pitcher, just gets the job done nonetheless, but has already got 4 strikeouts today to his name.
And yeah, Ryan, I would definitely agree. Brent Turner is definitely not a big strikeout pitcher. He's currently sitting at 30 innings pitched, but only 16 strikeouts on the season. So being able to collect a few here tonight is really good for him.
So it'll be scorched over to Alex McCutcheon. He won't be able to field that one. Reese Willis gets on. We'll see if they call it a hit or an error.
Now batting number 1, the right fielder,
They'll call it a hit.
Evan Krieger.
Rightfully so. Got some really good contact on that one. Now bring up Evan Krieger. Struck out last at bat. Moves them to 2 for 11 on the series. First pitch is high for ball 1. Turner will fire over with a tag. Not in time. Maple Leafs holding the 2-1 lead here, trying to scratch off that last matchup. As a runner goes, fires over as Kelsheimer, and in time makes the play. Great play by Cowan Kelsheimer.
Ryan, you're definitely right. That was a good throw by Kelsheimer, but I'm honestly kind of confused as to why the Maple Leafs were stealing on that. They're not necessarily a really base running heavy team, so not overall aggressive on the base paths.
So we see the replay here. The ball is scorched in the air towards center field as McCutcheon will go over and make the catch.
Now batting number 32.
You're right, Reese Willis took off on that one. A catcher has no stolen base attempts on the season. Now quickly 2 outs as Turner's looking at a very efficient inning. This one scorched to left field for a base hit. That'll fall for Nate Lange. Keep the inning alive, and now instead of runners at first and second, Maple Leafs will have a runner at first.
Now batting the designated.
And the Maple Leafs are just having some really good at-bats against Turner, putting some really solid contact on the ball, making it very difficult for the Foresters to get these outs.
Pitch will be roped up the middle, but a diving Ginder will throw this one away from his glove. That will probably go as a throwing error on Ginder. Now the Maple Leafs have runners at first and second with 2 outs. Bringing up Morgan Baker. So we wait here.
Now batting number 4, the first baseman, Morgan Baker.
Baker will step in, struck out. His first at bat. First pitch called a ball outside.
And Ryan, while we were waiting, I think Maple Leafs have gone to put a different runner here on first.
It's probably what it was. I saw the umpire was changing something on his lineup card.
Yeah, I believe they brought in a relief runner here for Nickel.
Indeed they did. Ryan Glithero will courtesy run for Nickel over at first. The 2-0. Called a ball and thrown over to first. Not sure if the Foresters wanted Kelsheimer to do that, as that could risk a run going over into right field. Fortunately for Huntington, it was a decent throw and McCutcheon was able to grab it.
Love this.
Two-one. Swung on and missed. Moves the count to 2-2 now.
I don't know why this won't go.
2-2 the count. Here's the pitch from Turner. Swung on towards right field. In play, but out of reach of McCutcheon and Gray. Over on the right side of the field, and we'll try 2-2 again. The 2-2. This one in the air towards center field. Jarrett Gray moving over and calls McCutcheon off to end the threat. We'll head to the bottom of the third in a 2-1 game in favor of Goshen over Huntington on FDN Sports.
This is how we like to do it.
Cam Nickel will come back out here for Goshen. 36 pitches thus far and 2 innings of work. Just the 1 earned run in that first inning.
And yeah, Nickel's been really efficient, and I'm going to keep praising him for it, but that curveball that he's got has just been fooling hitters all night. And so I said before, I'm interested in seeing what the Forester approach is going to be this second time around the order.
Leading off for Huntington in the bottom of the third inning.
Ian McCutcheon will lead things off here in the bottom half of the third.
McCutcheon.
Had a sac bunt his last at bat. First pitch called a ball. Swing and a miss to McCutcheon. Evens at a 1-1.
I mean, even when Nickel hangs the curveball directly over the middle, it's still tough to hit.
Just getting hitters off balance. Proving to do well for him thus far. 1-1, call the ball. The 2-1. Popped in the air, out of play, foul. Nickel will have to get through 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup. Following McCutcheon is Daniel Lichty and Satchel Wilson. The 2-2. This one roped down the line, fair. That's going to be a base hit from McCutcheon, who takes a hard round from first. Now gets back to the bag, and he's in for a leadoff single for Daniel Lichty.
And Ryan, I think off the bat he was definitely thinking double, but I think also with the way that left field is shaded out there, it might have been a little bit difficult for him to read where the ball was. However, still able to get back there. Just a little risky.
Foresters love to play aggressive. Sometimes we'll get an unnecessary out, but more often than not, helps provide an extra base and an extra run. Daniel Lichty grounded out his first at bat. Moves him to 2 for 4 on this doubleheader. It's Monday afternoon at beautiful Forest Glen Park.
The Maple Leafs are making sure to keep a quick eye here on McCutcheon on first. He is known to steal a lot of bags, as he currently has 13 on the year with 14 attempts.
We'll see if they take off with McCutcheon over at first. As you mentioned, a lot of stolen bases thus far. Runner won't go. Ground ball to the second baseman. He'll flip over to short and over to first. Baker, and gets the double play. Now with 2 outs, we'll bring up Satchel Wilson. Had a bloop single his first at bat. Moves him to 2 for 6 on the day. First pitch to Wilson is roped opposite field, going all the way to the wall and running into it. Satchel Wilson's going to have a stand-up double with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. WTP warning track power for Wilson. Trying to bring him home will be Jarrett Gray as we take a look at this one. Thought this one had a chance to get out.
Looking at the replay, you get it only looked to be about 2 or 3 feet short of going over the wall.
Evan Krieger over there and right just couldn't get a glove on it. Hopefully he's okay after running into the fence. Always a scary situation. This one's fouled back from Gray on the first pitch. 1 for 4 on the day. Got a couple walks. A ground out his first at bat. Trying to tie this game up. A 1 is outside. Evens it at 1-1. The 1-1. Swing and a miss from Gray. Krieger trying to strand that runner over at second. Wilson holding that 2-1 lead tightly. Trying to scratch across. Game 4 victory. Forster's trying to get a 4-game sweep. This one foul. Stays alive. 1-2 the count to Gray. Nickel will step off. Here's the 1-2 from Nickel. Outside and low. 2-2 the count now. He deals. Swung back and fouled again. Gray staying alive and trying to knock out Nickel with his pitch count. Still is at a decent pace, especially in a 7-inning game. Here's the pitch. Outside. Fills it up at 3-2 now. Who's going to win the battle? Cam Nickel and Jarrett Gray. The 3-2. One is going to be called for ball 4. Just missing. And now the Foresters have runners at first and second with Owen Young at the plate.
And we know Young is one of the more aggressive hitters in this Forester lineup, so I would not be surprised if we saw a few early acts here.
First pitch inside. Call the ball. Willis will call time and talk to his pitcher, Nickel. Trying to slow him down and make sure they can get this out and hold that 2-1 lead. Very important for the Maple Leafs as they're down 3-0 in this 4-game series. Trying everything they can to not get swept. In a good position right now in a 2-1 ball game. Plenty of baseball to be played. Runners at first and second. The 1-0. Too high. Hitters count 2-0 to Young. The 2-0. Swung on over to left field and playable. And he'll make the catch, ending the inning. Foresters strand runners at first and second after the Wilson double. 2-1 is our score in favor of the Maple Leafs over the Foresters on FDN Sports. Brent Cerner, 54 pitches for the Foresters. Will try to get things done here in the top of the 4th. Looking good so far, Jordan. What do you say?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. I mean, he's only sitting about mid-50s pitches right here, and it's not necessarily like he's having a bad outing. He's done a really good job here against most of the Maple Leafs lineup. It's just, if you were able to just scratch the second inning off the board, I think this would be considered a pretty good outing for him. Just that one misplay on an at-bat can change
other than
the whole ball game.
That one pitch, exactly. And he's had a couple walks this far and got a little bit deep into counts, but has got it done nonetheless. 4 strikeouts to his name. His first pitch in there for strike 1. Morgan Baker will face Turner. This one's in the air towards right center field. Going back is Jarrett Gray, and he'll make the grab over in right field. This is Austin Bontrager, excuse me.
Number 6, Bobby Garcia.
I'll bring up Bobby Garcia. All he's done today is hit a 2-run homer in this game. Last game was 3 for 4. Couple RBIs. 4 for 5 on the day. He's been a pain.
Yeah, you know, Ryan, that's just all he's done.
That's all he's done.
Not that big of a deal.
Did have that one out. The 1-1. Outside for a ball. Moves it to 2-1. This one hit back and foul. 2-2 on Bobby Garcia. Called the ball inside part of the plate. Fills it up at 3-2. One out here. Maple Leafs trying to get their first base runner this inning. And they will.
And Ryan, this is something the Maple Leafs have really been relying on this game, is they've been drawing a lot more full counts against Turner than they have in the other 3 games we've seen in this series. And so I think they're just being a lot more selective when they're up there at the plate. And you can definitely tell they're adding a lot more runners on base, trying to be a bigger threat here going into this last game of the series.
Char Reeves will come up, fouls this one back. Speedy center fielder. Say it about 100 times a day. Made a great catch in the first inning. This one's going to be roped towards left field, playable. And catching that one is Camden Dice. Tried to make it close, but caught it nonetheless for 2 outs now with a runner at first.
Yeah, you got to give some credit to Camden Dice there. I mean, that ball is definitely tailing away from him, and you can definitely see it as he kind of has to dive there at the last second to be able to come up with a clean catch. So props to him out there in left field.
Gabe Kermode will come up now. He bats 9th in this lineup. Takes the first pitch outside for a ball. One called a strike. Moves the count to 1-1. Two and one the count now to Kermode. Turner trying to hold this lead to just 2-1 for the Maple Leafs. Pitches outside for a ball. The 3-1. Swung back and fouled. Fills it up again for the second time this inning. Turner could end the inning right here. The 3-2. Swung on and roped to Daniel Lichty, who gets a decent bounce. Throws over to first and ends the inning. Just the walk stranded at first for the Maple Leafs as we head to the bottom of the 4th. 2-1 ball game on FDN Sports. Nickel back out for the Maple Leafs. 55 pitches to his name, doing very well. Bullpen is quiet for them. Forster's bullpen starting to heat up just a little bit. Max Max Meisner out there.
And if you're looking here at the Huntington Foresters offensive performance, it's not necessarily like they're hitting all that terrible. Sure, they have 1 run on 5 hits. It's just they're getting a lot of hits here with 2 outs, not leaving them with a whole lot of opportunity to try to climb back in this 1-run ball game.
That's a great point, Jordan, and we've seen a lot of times this year they hit really well with 2 outs, but definitely not here today. Again, that 5 hits on just 1 run for the Foresters. A couple doubles. Ginder had 1, Wilson had 1. We'll see what the bottom half of the lineup does. 7, 8, 9. Starting off with McCutcheon as he faces Nickel for the 2nd time. Had a base hit his last time up. So he takes strike 1. It's 1 low, leaving it at 1.
And I also think you got to give Nichols some credit here too, because in the past 3 games, the Huntington Foresters have done a really good job of getting an early lead here. Looks like they were trying to do the same here in this game. However, Nichols really slowed them down here.
One will be fouled back, and right, he's done a great job at slowing them down. A lot of runs in these 3 games for the Foresters have really put a couple games out of reach, but second inning of that doubleheader, don't have a lot of outs to work with. It's just 6 more outs to deal with in those 9-inning games, but it's a big difference in these ones. This one skied in the air towards Char Reeves in center field, who's going to let this one bounce. It's going to be a base hit for McCutcheon, but Reeves was going back. Didn't get a good read on it, and now the Foresters have the first man on McCutcheon. Nobody out.
And Ron, you mentioned he didn't necessarily have a good read on that, and part of you kind of wonders here, if you look at the field here, you've got the big sun gap here in center field and right field, but here in the infield and left field, it's all shaded. So maybe that might contribute to why he didn't necessarily get a good read on that ball.
Pitch almost hits him, but instead it's ball 1. Camden Dye struck out his first at bat, moves him to 1 for 5 on the day. That 1 hit, an opposite field home run. So Nickel now has to deal with the leadoff runner at first, which should have been an out. Those innings never seem to play out well for anybody, but Nickel doing well on the mound here for the Maple Leafs. See if he can get out of the jam. Step off. The 1-1. This one roped for a base hit. Over into right. McCutcheon rounding second. He'll head to third. The Foresters now with a couple base hits to start this inning in the bottom of the 4th have runners at the corners for Callan Kelsheimer.
Well, Ryan, this might be one of the few times we see in this game where the Huntington Foresters are able to get some runners in scoring position without there being 2 outs. So now with there only being, no outs in this inning with runners on first to third, you would think that the Huntington Foresters would be able to get in at least one of these runs.
You would think.
You would think.
Baseball is a funny game, though. We'll see how it plays out. Kelsheimer at the plate. Runners holding. This one called the ball outside and high. We'll see what the Foresters do with Dice over at first. See if they're going to try to draw a throw and steal. I presume that they would do that. Dice will not take off. It's 1-2.
And we can see Dice dancing over on the first base. However, what's interesting is he doesn't necessarily have any stolen base attempts on the year, but the Huntington Foresters are very aggressive on the base paths, and they're not afraid to be able to try to get him over there on second.
Now Dice, according to Thad Frame, could be a 20 base stealing kind of player, as this one's high for a ball. But Dice, being a pitcher, They don't want Dice to slide into a base and jam that arm. They want to protect it as much as possible. Obviously, Camden Dice, starting pitcher for the Foresters, pitched in game 1 of this series. 3-0 called a strike inside, and I would guess that they wouldn't risk it now with Dice over at first, especially with that arm, as a walk could do the same thing. This one skied in the air, shallow. Shortstop make the play, Nate Lange. That's not exactly what the Foresters were looking for, as they wanted to somehow get Dice over to second base. And you see what that frame does is now there's a double play possibility. Langston Ginder, not a slow runner, but not the fastest guy on the team either. Has a couple stolen bases this season. But a ball on the ground would not help very much. Maybe a hit and run, potentially.
Potentially. And I mean, to credit you with, that thought, Langston Ginder has been one of the hotter hitters for the Foresters in this series overall.
Right.
So as long as he necessarily doesn't put a double play ball here in play, he should be good.
First pitch called a ball. Ginder today is 1 for 2 with a double. 3 for 5 in both of the games today so far. 1-0. This one right up the middle to the pitcher. He'll get one and over to first, not in time. The Foresters will tie this game up at 2. So we were talking about that double play possibility, and we thought that was going to be it for this inning, but instead now the Foresters have Ginder over at first. And as we were saying before, Ginder not the fastest runner on the team, but definitely not a slow runner by any means.
No, but I also think you got to give some credit to Camden Dice there. I don't know if you saw, Ryan, but he definitely put a lot of contact on the second baseman trying to make the throw over to first. So that might have gave Langston Ginder enough time to be able to make it over there.
I think the throw may have been disrupted a little bit as well, with Dice going over to second. Obviously no intentions to hurt in any scenario, but trying to disrupt that throw as much as possible. As Ginder takes off, he'll go into second. Called safe. Throw was in time, but just high. The second baseman, now this as we take a look, second baseman Bobby Garcia tried to get that one in, and he may have gotten him.
Yeah, I think the question there is just whether he got the tag down on his leg.
Right. This one will be scorched to the shortstop on a line, but caught, but not before the Foresters tack on one run on the fielder's choice from Ginder. So we head to the top of the 5th in a 7-inning game. This is FDN Sports. We head to the top of the 5th. A new pitcher for the Foresters is Max Meisner, the freshman lefty, will come out.
Yeah, Ryan, and Max Moser, he's definitely had a little bit of a rocky start this year. He's only pitched in 6 games, however, he's currently sitting on a 4.05 ERA and 13 1/3 inning pitch. However, the Huntington Foresters, with this tied game here being 2-2, and may I also mention this is only a 7-inning game, so 9 outs left here for both teams. Foresters are going to try to entrust him to get these 3 outs.
Turner will finish the day with 70 total pitches, 4 innings pitched, had 3 walks and 4 strikeouts, just the 2 earned on 4 hits. struggled a little bit to find the zone, but got out of a lot of situations as he normally does as a pitcher in the bullpen for the Foresters. So not bad for Turner, and I think he was on a short leash anyways with the amount of innings he's thrown this year. And we just want to mention that FDN at the Glen was originally scheduled for April 21st. Now it's changed to April 20th against Lourdes University. It'll be here at Forest Glen Park. It's a fundraiser for New Life Meal Ministry. Broadcast is dedicated to New Life Meal Ministry in Huntington, Indiana. FDN is partnering with them to raise money for New Life Meal Ministries, raising money to donate a free meal. The goal is to get up to $2,000 to be able to provide 2 4 standing upright freezers. To help, look at social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Forester Digital Network for more information. Eisner now with a 2-1 count. Not sure who the next pitcher would be for the Foresters if Meisner doesn't finish it out. He's going to have to go 3 complete to do it. As Turner's already been used, all the starting pitchers have been used. Gabe Freeman has been used, and now Max Meisner. The 2-2. Swing and a miss for Meisner. Gets the first one down on strikes.
Now batting the Maple Leafs right fielder, number 1, Evan Krager.
We'll bring up Evan Krager. As he takes the first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Meisner got some potential out of the pen for the Foresters, just a freshman from Fort Wayne, just 30 minutes away.
Yeah, and what we're seeing right now is just the one downside to Meisner is he just struggles to find the strike zone a little bit early here. Last 2 at-bats not necessarily looking the greatest, but I'm sure he'll bounce back.
That's kind of the theme for the Foresters is not everybody every single game will walk people, but the Foresters have had an issue with walking hitters this year, that free pass, and it's gotten them in trouble throughout the season. Meisner throws this one in the strike zone, proving me wrong. But Meisner just one of those guys that can throw up to mid-80s, 85, 86. Get the job done, very hard to hit. Will be fouled towards the dugout.
And Ryan, even though he does have that high velocity fastball, it's just being able to locate that fastball is what really gets him into trouble sometimes.
Right. Meisner's opponent batting average this year is .226, very low. Very good for a relief pitcher. But again, those walks can get him into trouble sometimes, as the Foresters have had this season. Nonetheless, a great looking pitcher and a lefty at that for the Foresters. So the 3-2 is outside for ball 4. This will bring up Nate Lange.
The shortstop, Nick Lange.
1 for 2 today. Single his last time up. Getting his first look at Meisner in his career. Foul tipped into the glove for strike 1. A 1 is hit over to Lichty, who dives and makes the play, throws over to first, and now they're going to try to get the other runner at third. Lichty can't make the catch, but backed up by Wilson. But wow, what a play from Daniel Lichty.
And I mean, Ryan, he was definitely, really aggressive there on just fielding that ground ball. I mean, we've seen a lot of bad hops come from this infield, and him diving to make that play and able to make the throw to first, really just securing that second out.
What a fantastic play by Daniel Lichty. So now Cam Nickel, the pitcher, will step up to the plate and try to help himself out with a runner at third. The 2-0. Called the ball. Here's the 3-0. Outside for a ball. Ball 4.
Ryan talked about how that free walk to first base has kind of been hurting the Foresters. However, in this situation, it's not necessarily a bad idea, as it does mean the Foresters do have multiple places to get this last out at. So it doesn't hurt Meisner all that much.
Runners at the corners for Morgan Baker, the first baseman. Meisner's first pitch is high. Pitching coach, Coach Abbott, will come out and have a conversation with Meisner. The whole infield will come in, possibly talking about a pickoff play, potentially, or whether or not they might throw down on a stolen base. Here with 2 outs, you think they might give it a shot.
And of course, there's always the conversation, maybe trying to pitch it or switch up the pitch repertoire, try to get Meisner a little bit more comfortable in these at-bats.
Right.
Because, like I've said, there's 2 outs in this inning, so not a whole lot of work to be done here to get this last out.
Go-ahead run standing at third base, though. Tie game at 2-2. So tries to throw over to the runner. Here's the 1-0. Outside for a ball. 2-0. Do not want to load the bases. Doesn't hurt, but will also put 2 runners in scoring position. And the hitters count now. Swing and a miss. Moves the count to 2-1 with 2 outs. Freshman Max Meisner on the mound, trying to get things done here in the top of the 5th for the Foresters. Low for a ball. Morgan Baker trying to put the Maple Leafs ahead. At least 3-2 on one swing of the bat. The 3-1. Fouled back.
And with this at-bat currently sitting at a full count, I mean, this could be one of the more important pitches of this inning.
3-2, runner going. Too high for ball 4. Third walk of the inning for Meisner. Now that'll bring up Austin Bontrager.
Now batting the third baseman, number 23, Austin Bontrager.
Still knotted at 2-2, but the base is loaded now for Bontrager. First pitch. Call the ball. Here's the 1-0. In there for strike 1. Trying to get out of this bases loaded jam. Outside, ball 2.
And Ryan, the Maple Leafs are definitely doing a lot of chirping over there in that dugout. If you're Meisner, you would just absolutely love to be able to get any kind of out here to silence them.
Maple Leafs dugout ready to explode, though, on the other part of it. 2-1 is outside for ball 3. Can't put him anywhere but home plate. Now the count moves to 3-1. They'll have to throw a strike here. The 3-1 in there for strike 2. Battle between Meisner and Bonetrigger.
And with full count and 2 outs, I think all the runners are going to be in motion here. So very crucial pitch here.
3-2 swung on and missed. Max Meisner, the freshman, gets out of the inning. Walks 3 and gets it done. In a 2-2 game going to the bottom of the 5th on FDN Sports.
This is how we like to do it.
Cam Nickel will come back out for the Maple Leafs here in the bottom of the 5th. 2-2 game. He'll have to take on Daniel Lichty, Satchel Wilson, and Jarrett Gray.
And sure, he's going into the heart of the Forester lineup, but he's also been really efficient against all these hitters. Even though it's their 3rd time around, he's been looking really good. His breaking ball is breaking absolutely fantastic, putting all these hitters just out of balance.
Leading off for Huntington in the bottom of the 5th inning, the third baseman, number 16, Daniel Lichty.
Nickel at 72 pitches. It's a good look for him, but he's still got 3 innings to go if Maple Leafs want to just ride through him for the rest of the night. First pitch to Lichty is high and outside. The 1-0. Call the ball outside. 2-0 now to Lichty. That's the last person you want to have going to first base with nobody out. Lichty, top 5 in stolen bases, as this one is in the air. In the gap towards right field. Going back to the track, to the wall, and it's gone! A home run for Daniel Lichty. On a 2-0 pitch. Launches the Foresters to a 3-2 lead.
And that's Daniel Lichty's 2nd home run of the year. And might I say, it was definitely a good time for one. Being able to put the Foresters up 3-2 with 6 outs left here for the Maple Leafs.
A surge for Lichty. The Foresters now go up by 1 in the bottom of the 5th. Bringing up Satchel Wilson, who takes a strike on the inside part of the plate.
The Maple Leafs also currently don't have anyone in their bullpen, so if they get into a little bit of pitching trouble here, they're going to have to put someone out there.
This one scorched up the middle. Stolen bags this season out of 16. And he'll run. Here's the throw. Not in time. Wilson got a really good jump and had a really good lead. Surprised that Nickel didn't throw over.
And that's just the Foresters' game. They really like to steal as many bags as they can. They're just overall really aggressive on the base paths, making it an absolute nightmare for any pitcher up there on the mound.
Now with a runner in scoring position. And he's in motion again. And he'll swipe third. No problem for Satchel Wilson. Back-to-back pitches. Back-to-back stolen bases for Wilson. Now all they need is a fly ball.
So by saying 13 stolen bases, you really mean 15, right?
I mean 15 now, yes. Satchel said 1 second. The 1-1. This one skied in the air towards right field. Coming in. And now the ball will drop. And Wilson will score. A base hit in the books. A bloop single, that is. Now the Foresters go up 4-2.
And Ryan, it just seemed like the second baseman and the right fielder couldn't get a good read on how that ball was playing out. I mentioned earlier about how the shade might play into the outfielders a little bit. If we look now, center field is definitely more shaded than it was just a few minutes ago.
Right.
But right field is still completely unshaded compared to the rest of the field. So it might have caused a little bit of confusion there for both fielders.
Tony Young swings and misses on a hit and run play, but the ball falls out of the glove. And Forester fans love it here at Forest Glen Park as Gray takes a seat on second base, slowly getting up. Hopefully he's okay. And Foresters are not going to call time for him. He waved him off, said he's okay. And they're going to take his word for it.
I mean, Gray just might be a little rusty. I mean, he only has one stolen bag in one attempt. Right. So with it only being his second stolen base on the year, he's just not used to that feeling.
0-1 is fouled back by Owen Young. Still nobody out here in the inning. Some offensive blunders here, letting the Foresters have at it. Now he's trying to swipe third with the runner going, but fouled back. If that throw was on line, Jarrett Gray is not standing at second base.
And I mean, the Foresters are being really aggressive here with the game on the line. I mean, this inning did originally start 2-2, and they're just not afraid to run these base paths, even if it is a tight game. Trying to do everything they can to get as many runs before the game's over.
Here's the 0-2, swung on in this from Young. He jammed him. Runner still in scoring position for the Foresters. Gray at second. We'll bring up Alex McCutcheon, who's 2 for 2 with 2 singles today. 3 for 5 on the day. He'll increase that 278 average coming into today's games. First pitch taken high for a ball. Maple Leafs bullpen still heating up a righty up in there. Nickel now has 85 pitches. Runner going to third. Gray trying to slide in there. Umpire is going to call him out. Interesting move by the Foresters there, as Gray was lucky to be standing on second base, and the throw just bouncing off the glove and now getting thrown out over at third.
Yeah, Ryan, you're definitely right, especially when there's only one out in the inning with the runner in scoring position. Very odd that they're trying to swipe the bag there.
2-0 pitch is fouled back. Especially with a guy that's 2 for 2 today with a couple singles. A single likely scores Gray. Now with 2 outs, McCutcheon will stand in with no runners on base. Here's the 2-1. Swung on and missed. 2-2 the count now with 2 outs. Two is skied out of play. We'll try 2-2 again. Coming up from Nickel. I think if he gets McCutcheon out here, he might have a chance to come out next inning. Not a depthy bullpen for the Maple Leafs. This one's skied in the air towards left field. Finding it now is the Maple Leafs to get the third out of the inning. But before that, Daniel Lichty, the go-ahead home run to right center field. Another run tacked on will make the score 4-2 here on FDN Sports. Max Meisner comes out with a 2-run lead now. Here in the top of the 6th. Just 6 outs left for the Maple Leafs here in the 7-inning game.
And the Maple Leafs had a fairly good inning last inning when Meisner came in. They were able to, crack his armor a little bit, able to load the bases up with 2 outs. Just weren't able to follow through and try to get any runs there to add on the board. However, this second time around, it might be a little bit more interesting. So we'll see.
Kalsheimer will throw it down to second and we'll get this thing started.
Leading off for Goshen in the top of the 6th inning.
It's the last hitter that the Foresters want to see, but
Garcia.
it's better to have nobody on than a couple people on as Bobby Garcia steps in. 2-run shot and a walk today. So he takes this one for a strike. 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Obviously the 2-run shot in the top of the 2nd. Meisner deals and this one's fouled back out of play. 0-2. Too high on the curveball. Moves it to 1-2 now. Meisner changing up his windup will get this one in the air to Jarrett Gray and gets the out.
And Ryan, what I really liked about that at bat for Meisner is something that we didn't see from him from the last inning was being able to get that first pitch strike. And he kind of struggled leading in these 1-0 and 2-0 counts. However, that last at bat, not afraid to go at him, starting at 0-2, being able to lead it easy out there.
Goshen, number 28.
If you notice, he changed his motion a little bit on that last pitch. He did a little shimmy for a second, taking his time and tried to get the timing off for Garcia, and it seemed to work. First pitch in there for strike 1, inner side of the plate for Char Reeves. Excuse me, now we have a pinch hitter, Jenna Rodemer. Rodemer played in the first game of this series. This one skied in the air in the infield. Lichty calling off Wilson. He'll make the catch. Two outs now for Gabe Kermode. Maple Leafs left fielder.
Left fielder, number 13, Gabe Kermode.
First pitch is too high for a ball. Jordan, the Maple Leafs are just down to their last 4 outs here. Have to get something going. Inside, call the ball. 2-0 the count. In the dirt for ball 3. Count moves to 3-0. Kermode gets a walk here on 4 pitches. Maple Leafs now have the go-ahead run coming up to the plate. Reese Willis.
I'm interested in seeing what the Maple Leafs are going to try to do with this runner on first because, like I've mentioned earlier in this game, they aren't necessarily a very aggressive base running team. So I don't think they're going to try to do anything fancy here on the base pass.
Coach Thad Frame will come out and talk to his pitcher Max Meisner. Don't think he'll take the ball away from him as Foresters have Mason Shinneberry warming up in the bullpen just in case. They may throw him in the 7th inning to try to close the door on the Maple Leafs. Remember, Brent Turner started for him today as Shinneberry dealing with some back tightness.
Want to go ahead and switch it now?
Just wanted to make sure he was ready for series in Indiana Wesleyan next weekend, and they're going to pull Max Meisner. Not danger to the closing role, to a relief role. 2 years ago, came out of the bullpen a little bit and started some games for the Foresters. Was also a Kalamazoo Growler and was a closer for them, had the record for saves in a season for the Growlers. The Growlers playing in Kalamazoo, it's the Northwoods League, summer collegiate league that produces a lot of MLB players. So Shinneberry will come in here as starting pitcher for the Foresters and has some tightness in his back, but they wanted to get him in an inning before the Indiana Wesleyan series. Mason Shinneberry on the mound for the Foresters, and more on Shinneberry this season, Jordan Herring.
Well, Ryan talked about how Shinneberry is no stranger to the closer role. However, he's progressed from that reliever role over to the starting pitcher role. But going back to his old ways here in the relief role, currently sitting at a 2.31 ERA, 6-1 win record, and 46 2/3 inning pitch. Overall, good performance this year for the Foresters.
First pitch is called a ball inside, trying to go for a 4-out save. This is a save opportunity. Just a 2-run lead for the Foresters here in the 6th. This next pitch is fouled back on a check swing to even it at 1-1.
And something that I think we need to mention about Mason Shinneberry is, unlike a lot of Forester pitchers, he is their go-to strikeout pitcher. Currently sitting at 50 for the year right now. Hopefully trying to get a tackle on a few here for the rest of this game.
Big swing and a miss on a curveball. Brings it to 1-2. To Reese Willis, the catcher. One, two, fouled. The 1-2. Swung on in the air towards foul territory. Gray moving over and just out of play. Willis stays alive. The freshman taking on the senior Shinneberry. The 1-2 from Shinneberry. Swinging a ground ball to Daniel Lichty. Glove it, throw over to first, and stretching for it is McCutcheon to end the inning. Strands a runner at first in a 4-2 ball game in favor of the Foresters on FDN Sports.
This is how we like to do it.
Bottom of the 6th. Foresters taking a 4-2 lead with 2 spot in the bottom of the 5th last inning. New pitcher for the Maple Leafs relieving Cam Nickel is Benjamin Witterstater, a freshman from Texas. More on that, Jordan Herring.
Yeah, Ryan, Benjamin Witterstater, he's had a little bit of a rough year, currently sitting at a 6.61 ERA with an 0-1 win-loss record. But however, that is only in 16 1/3 inning pitch. So not a whole lot of work in for him. However, still does have that high ERA. So we should see how this pans out with Foresters going in the bottom of the 6th.
We'll have to go through Noah Comstock, who steps in. Pinch hit for Cam Dice. Comstock goes in for defensive purposes.
Noah Comstock.
Comstock 0 for 6 this season so far, trying to get that first hit for the Foresters. First pitch is taken high for a ball. We'll have to go through Comstock, Kelsheimer, and Ginder at the minimum. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Moves it to 1-2 now on Comstock. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Comstock will strike out here from Witterstater.
Now batting the catcher, number 28, Callan Kelsheimer.
I'll bring up Callan Kelsheimer, the catcher. First pitch, calling the ball outside. This one down the line, foul for Kelsheimer. Freshman on freshman matchup. Wabash, Indiana is where Callan Kelsheimer is from. Benjamin Witterstater, freshman from Texarkana, Texas. And the 2-1. Low for a ball. 3-1 now. Three-one pitch is in there for strike 2. Filling it up at 3-2. The 3-2. Ball 4. That'll bring up Langston Ginder, who's 1 for 3 on the day with an RBI. Had a leadoff double. Lead off this game, excuse me.
First base, number 5,
Ryan Hale will run for Kelsheimer.
Now batting
Courtesy runner for the catcher.
3, Langston Ginder.
We'll see if they put the runner in motion. Hale, as he has 7 stolen bases this season. Swinging on the first pitch is Ginder going into left field, out of play. Ginder with an 0-1 count with 1 out from Witterstater. Righty relief pitcher coming in for Cam Nickel. Runner in motion, hit and run. This one down the line and left, and foul. Would have been a perfectly executed hit and run. Would have at least gotten Hale to third. Instead, we have an 0-2 count to Ginder. Fires over to first. No tag. Ginder now with an 0-2 count. Here's the pitch from Witterstater. Swing and a miss. Hale will steal the bag standing up. But now the Foresters have 2 outs with a runner in scoring position.
Now batting number 4,
Hale's 8th of the year.
McCutcheon.
Here's Ian McCutcheon. Witterstater will step off. McCutcheon 1 for 2 in this game with a single. This one skied in the air towards left field. Going over is Kermode as he makes the grab, and we head to the top of the 7th inning in a 7-inning game. Mason Shinneberry will try to go in and close the door on the Maple Leafs on FDN Sports. Evan Krager to lead things off in the bottom, or the top of the 7th inning, last inning, down to their last 3 outs. Mason Shinneberry throws a strike for strike 1 on this first pitch, trying to get a 4-out save in his first relief appearance of the season. Just missing on a curveball there, evens it at 1-1. So it'll be skied in the air towards foul territory. And it's out of play into the creek. Swing and a miss from Shinneberry, down on strikes.
Now batting the Maple Leafs short.
Big strikeout from Shinneberry as Nate Lange step in. 1 for 3 on the day is a swing and a miss here from Shinneberry. No one. Fouled back.
And like he has with previous hitters, Mason Shinneberry is doing a very good job of getting ahead in every count that he's gone against so far.
0-2, grounded over to Lichty at third. Throw over into the dirt and scooped up by McCutcheon for out number 2.
Now batting the Goshen DH.
And now Ryan, Mason Shinneberry is only 1 out away, not only from ending this game, but also 1 out away from completing the very rare 4-out save.
A 4-out save for Shinneberry would be something he hasn't done this season because it's his first relief appearance. Usually a starting pitcher. Had some back tightness, but I'll tell you what, looks pretty good here today. 0-1 is low in the dirt. Grounded over to Mason Shinneberry. Be funny if he threw over to first.
I found it more impressive that the curveball was able to bounce off the catcher almost all the way back to him on the pitcher's mound.
1-2 now. Cam Nickel, the starting pitcher in this one, did very well for the Maple Leafs.
And we know Shinneberry's got the nasty curveball. Probably going to be looking to that as we go into this 1-2 count.
The 1-2. Fastball on the ground towards Lichty. This should do it. Fires over to first, and the 4-out save and the 4-game sweep for the Foresters. Ends this one at 4-2 final. Foresters sweep the Goshen Maple Leafs to tie it up in the Crossroads League standings at third, tied with St. Francis. This has been Ryan Walker and Jordan Herring for FDN Sports.